Okay, so now that we've pretty much went over the basics, I went ahead and I created a mock-up sales operations space. So there's two things that I really want to go over here besides just the space itself is the importance of really doing a business analysis on if you need to create specific spaces for the different departments within the organization. Now, it depends on the size of the company. If you are a smaller company, and when I say smaller, I would say about 100, 150 people or less that will be within the platform, working the platform, and affected by the projects that are within the platform. Maybe not creating multiple spaces is a great way to go, or only creating multiple spaces for specific departments. An example is maybe you have sales operations, marketing, and merchandising living in the same space, but maybe you have IT and the data team living in its own space. So as you can see, I have two separate spaces. I have testing and I have testing two. If I click on testing two, the space completely changes and you can see the difference between the spaces and like the custom objects. Now, I will go into custom objects and how imperative it is that you set permissions on them. Otherwise, you may find yourself or other projects may find themselves accidentally changing custom objects that were created for a specific reason. And that's why I'm emphasizing definitely take a step back and ensure that your organization fits the model of one major space, because sometimes that's just not the case and you may need multiple spaces because of how big the org is. So with that being said, let's go straight and jump straight into this specific scenario. So I have the sales operations space. At the very top of the space, I have onboarding. Right now we're onboarding Mickey Mouse and he is in the training videos section. So he will be doing training video. He's doing training videos right now. I'm going to actually go ahead and move him to IST support so he can go ahead and get the equipment that he needs in his onboarding process. Now, with that being said, also, I want Mickey Mouse to complete some of the welcome videos or KPIs. This was an embedded video. It's a 404 error message now because I just deleted the video. It was just far too long, but you can embed videos and images into ClickUp, and that is exactly what I wanted to show you. So I'm going to actually do that. Now I'm going to show you how you can do it. I'm going to go on YouTube. YouTube always gives me some random video. I don't know why it does that. I'm going to backspace, and this is going to be your command key. It's going to be your bread and your butter as a project manager, being able to quickly backspace and use this. You'll go to embeds, embed website. And there you have that. But obviously you want to put like a training video, a welcome message from the VP or the CEO of the company or something like that. Then you have the onboarding information, the how-to guides, use cases, video tutorials, and you can even add FAQs with the answer as a drop-down, which I love. You can also link it to whatever ticketing system that you use if you have questions, or if the employee that's being on board may have questions or need to submit a ticket for something specific. It's all in one place. And then we have sales ops KPIs. So this will be, again, this will be at the very high level of who's being onboarded, are they done being onboarded? And again, this is a use case where it's a high onboarding / offboarding rate. And in that scenario, I'm going to add a folder for onboarding. I wanted to actually do this on camera so that you guys can see how easy it is. And then I'm going to add the onboarding to this list or this. And then the second list will be offboarding. And it's just that easy. So now you have sales success, and here you can create integrations with Zendesk or your ticketing system of choice, or the ticketing system that the company uses in order to have tickets go straight from Zendesk to ClickUp, depending on like whatever condition or rule you want to set with Zendesk. So that is totally customizable. If you want it to be a SLA, if you want it to be a certain metric, if you want it to be when John Doe sends in a ticket, it automatically goes to ClickUp. You can do that, and then it'll come in here. Have it at different levels. So the sales coordinators versus the managers versus the directors versus the VPs. And you can do that by level of importance or level of escalation, right? So that's that. And then we have operations projects. I have all of my projects within its own folders. And I cannot emphasize enough on the way that you always want to look at, and really truthfully, not just ClickUp, any project management software platform, as the space being the file cabinet, the folder being one of the manila folders within the file cabinet, and the list being the piece of paper within that folder that has this information written on it, right? The discovery, the business use case, so on and so forth. So with that being said, I separated my operations projects as a project manager, especially if you are a project manager that are working with operations managers and you truly are only in the field for doing the projects. Separating this out to yourself is going to be so important when it comes to reporting. It's just going to make your job 10 times easier to pull reports specifically on projects. And it also is going to help with the directors or the sales success managers pulling reports on whoever they are reporting to. Sales enablement. Let's just say one of the sales success managers or sales directors, whatever you want to call them, is reporting to John Doe, one is reporting to Tony Stark, and one is reporting to Bruce Wayne. They each have their own space, and it can be totally customizable. Let's just say that I've created a Bruce Wayne requested to update HubSpot reporting and track the KPI retention rate. Now, I didn't go in and create this task from the list. What I did was in one of these channels, I created a channel and I mentioned everyone, hey, this is what Bruce Wayne wants to do. Now, as the director or the sales success manager, they can go in and go, okay, he wants this. They can highlight that. And create the task like I did. And then from there, it'll go into personal list unless you change it. And I went ahead and changed it to Bruce's folder under that initial list. So we're going to delete that drive. We're going to work this. So once I mentioned it, it added this to the tab. It added the thread. And it also added it to the comments, which is amazing because everything is timestamped. So if someone says that they never got that information, you can go back and check and say, oh, you got it today at 12:14. It's now 1 o'clock. Why isn't this complete? Or what's the status of this, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and throw it into in progress. And I'm going to go spoke with Bruce on the phone, wants to, and I'm just doing this. You want to be as detailed and professional as possible. He wants to know, I'm going to add this to, hey, this needs to be done by May 29th. Now I know the due date of this. Now I need to create a subtask, create, or I'm going to put set pool. And you get where I'm going with this, pool custom. You get what I'm going with. You get where I'm going with this. So now I have 2 subtasks, and instead of being like, I have to remember all of this, now I know that he wants this done by the 21st, and maybe I don't have time today or for the rest of the week. So I'm going to set these for days and times that I have available to do this. Go ahead and assign it to myself. I'm gonna make myself the main task assignee and throw that one in progress. So that is how you create task, subtask at the basic level. There are many ways that you can create tasks and subtasks, but this is just one of them. And then I'm going to mention watchers. So that's anyone that's on this icon bell. You can add people if you have more people within your space. And that's supposed to be started and I stated, but so there you have that. So just to reiterate what all we covered today is going to be that your team should be living out of the inbox. So if someone says that they're overwhelmed, the first question I would ask is, where are you living out of in ClickUp? And if they're not living out of their inbox, then I would redirect them to live out of their inbox, and they won't be so overwhelmed because all of the tasks will be within the inbox and in the replies. Another thing we covered is the spaces, and a great way on how to initiate the change in management without so much resistance is going to be explaining it and breaking it down as the file cabinet, the manila folder, the piece of paper. Once you put that into perspective for most people, they truly do understand it, and it's so much easier to follow when you're saying, "Oh, did you put that in your onboarding list?" In the onboarding list, and then they can think, oh, the piece of paper. Did you put that in the onboarding folder? Oh yeah, the manila folder. Did you put it in the sales operations space? Oh, the cabinet. So that's a way to ensure that the standard operating procedures for in your space is being followed, is to really put it in terms that everyone would be able to be familiar with, and just making it easier. Last thing is you can convert your or you can move over from Slack or any other chat platform directly to ClickUp. Just so much easier to keep track of everything, timestamp everything, and it creates true organizational transparency. A lot of organizations preach that they want to be transparent. Some actually execute on it, some do not, but this helps you with that. So with that being said, this is a high-level view of ClickUp for sales operations and or any operations. I hope this was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video for more content like this.